Hi there, boys and girls, and welcome back. Right, I've got a couple of games for you today. One of mine and two that some of the guys that I've been platooning up with recently have allowed me to share the footage. Yeah, we're going to highlight a couple of interesting aspects of gameplay here. So here we are on Castilla. I'm rolling around in the T-34 1776 Independence. Lovely looking tank, this one. I'm going to come right out and say I honestly don't think that driving all the heavies, just driving at sea cap on this map from either spawn is actually a particularly good strategy. It's certainly not one that I used when I played this map in tournaments. Unless you can guarantee that your meds and lights are going to take the high ground on the B cap, you can get absolutely farmed from distance contesting this one in heavies. However, you know, at the end of the day, it's a public game. Even if you're platooning up with someone, you've got 5 other players on your team. If this is where the heavies go, this is where you've got to go with them. You make the best of what you've got. We've got ourselves a nice piece of cover here. 2 spots I generally go to if I'm going to come from this spawn and go towards C. One is behind these rocks and the other is on the slope of the hill to the left if I've got a tank with good enough gun depression to pull that off. So we've got ourselves a nice spot here. Managing to take a few bounces. My opposite number here in the T-34, he keeps poking out and letting me pump shells at the side of his turret. I think he's got a little bit annoyed with that. So he's going to push round on me and he gets cleared pretty quickly. Unfortunately, that shot took out the optics of my tank, so I couldn't get the shot onto the TD there. However, our friend here is about to YOLO forward, and so we're just going to casually stick one straight through the side there. Thank you very much indeed, my friend. And we're looking okay at this point. We're 2 tanks up. I've got full hit point pool, and we're now at the point where we can start to push round. Stick a nice shot into this SU over there. Now, as we go through, it does sometimes baffle me that sometimes people won't stop and cap the base when they're playing Supremacy. Yeah, most games actually don't get settled on Supremacy points, I realise that, but it is a Supremacy game, therefore you do have to play it slightly differently, and if you have the opportunity to get an easy cap, then to my mind you should always take that. You never know what's going to happen. We are 2 tanks up here, but I want to make sure that if I get ammo racked, we get taken out, whatever, we're still accumulating the victory points. That's my general thinking on the matter. Some of you may disagree. So anyway, we've pretty much sorted this flank out. It's all over bar the shouting. I've managed to pick up a kill. Done just over 2k damage so far. So now it's time to basically try and bump the old kill numbers up and see if I can get a shot on this last fella. Thankfully he's very obliging. Even though he can get away from me around this corner and take the kill, he doesn't. He stops and allows me to stick one straight to the side of him now. So yeah, a very fun game in a really good tank. 2200 damage, 2 kills. Enjoying that one. Okay, this is a video sent to me by Frost136 from Hunters Reborn. Thank you very much for that indeed, my friend. He's rolling around in the BDR-G1B, a tank I have featured a few times on the channel. In fact, I've featured it that much. I think Frost136 decided he wanted one, and he definitely wants the tank that comes after this, which is the ARL-44. One of my favourite tier 6 tanks, in fact probably my favourite tier 6 tank. So Frost is working his way towards that. He's rolling out here in T5 on the right flank of Dead Rail. Now as he's pushing round, he quickly realises there's nobody over here. It seems to be something I have noticed a little bit more in the time I've come back to the game, in that all 7 tanks rolling at one flank strategy seems to have sort of come back. It was around for quite a while, and then it disappeared as people started to basically watch YouTube videos. They watched a lot of Bushka videos, a lot of Meadsy videos, and started to understand the tactical ways to play the map a little better. So it sort of went away, but I've noticed it's come back a bit here. So Frost has this he has this flank all to himself. He has a dirty great big tier 7 gun on the front of this tank. Slow aiming reticule, but it doesn't matter. He's under no pressure here. He can literally sit on the side of this flank and farm damage all day long, which Frost here is going to do. That's absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. You've got, what was it, 2 mediums and a light sitting up in a TD spawn on dead rail. That drives me crazy, that kind of thing. So Frost is going to take full advantage of that. If they want to sit around, stay immobile as light and medium tanks, then they're going to get thumped for it, and that's exactly what Frost is going to do for him. So he's taken 2 kills now. He's got all the time in the world. He can roll around this flank and put himself in pretty much whatever position he likes. Doesn't quite get that one. As I said, this tank does suffer a little bit from the aiming time. Nonetheless, it's a fantastic tank for its tier. So he's going to come forward, improve his firing position a little, stick a nice 220 alpha roll in there, and I've noticed that Frost does like getting his sneaky shots under the train carriages here. Very, very good. I approve of that gameplay. So it's looking fairly even so far. 4 tanks apiece, but Frost is literally, he can do what he wants on this flank. They didn't contest it. I understand the 7 tanks all going together in one flank can be a way, if you want to play very fast and aggressive and push, to be very, very effective. But you do run this risk, especially on an open map like Dead Rail. If you leave one flank completely uncontested, then you are open to the fact that somebody's going to exploit that and just farm damage into you, pour damage into you, and that's exactly what Frost has done here. Another lovely sneaky snapshot under the rail cars there. Now it's pretty much over. Frost is going to come round, clear this last guy up, and there we go. Fantastic piece of gameplay there from Frost. Almost 2,000 damage, top gun, and 5 kills. Well played indeed, showing to good effect what this tank is capable of. Okay, here we are now. I platooned up with Hunter Reborn from Hunter's Reborn clan. So I think this was the first time we'd ever platooned up. Now, I like to play the game sometimes a bit hard, fast, aggressive, get stuck in. Sometimes that works very well for me, and when it does, I put it on the channel because it makes me look good, and sometimes it doesn't work out so well for me, and this is one of those days. I'm going to come around here now. I'm just far too aggressive, far too silly. I haven't checked the minimap. The other guys aren't spotted. I see one guy go crazy, think, right, I'm going to go around here and take this guy on, and here we go. There we go, boys and girls. 6 enemy tanks all my front. So I've just turned this AR roll into a piece of Swiss cheese, a massive bullet magnet, and there we go. Half my hit points gone. Thankfully I managed to bounce about 500 of those, God knows how. And yeah, not a great start to the battle here. My platoon mate, Hunter over there, must have been giving it, oh my God, what's this lunatic doing? But you know, sometimes you've just got to make the best of a bad situation. So we're going to put this gun to good effect, try and angle up the tank, and start pouring in the damage. Thankfully, my platoon mate Hunter is doing an excellent job in not only preserving his own hit point pool, but also pouring in the shots and helping me to focus my targets. These guys have flanked around rather than pushing through town, which I must admit helped me out a great deal. I'm going to stick one straight into the KV there. Nobody's pushing round at me. I mean, potentially they really should have done, but they don't. And Hunter here, great job. Gives me some cover with his tank, allows me to come out and start pouring in the damage. At this point, I'm going to angle back because the AC over there is just sitting out in the open. So seems to be fairly oblivious to the fact he's getting dinged. So we're going to take advantage of that and do a bit more damage. And there he goes. So we pretty much cleared out this flank now. Now the enemy Cromwell here, I think he's got a little bit fed up with the fact that I'm farming up damage on this flank, so he's going to come around and clear me up. Managed to get a shot into him there, got him tracked, but unfortunately didn't do quite enough. Now we're getting into it. I do manage to get him down to almost dead, but don't quite manage to pull it off due to my silly play at the beginning there. What should have been a fairly easy one-on-one victory was one that I didn't survive. Thankfully, Hunter's done a much better job of looking after his own tank. We're now in a 3-2 situation, so he's going to push around it, deal with this guy. Now there's only one TD left, and he's a dead easy one-shot. So Hunter's going to come around now and just try and close this game out, which he does with a nice shot there. So a pretty successful game from what was a terrible start by me. Still managed to pick up a Confederate and a third-class mastery. 3 kills for Hunter, 1 for me. We're the top 2 damage leaders there on the board. So all around a very successful game from what could have been a fairly disastrous start, because I went just a bit too hard, a bit too fast and aggressive there. But thankfully, with a good platoon mate, you can pull that kind of thing off. Anyway, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching. Please send me videos if you'd like to see them featured. And as always, good hunting. Bye for now.